It's the perfect scene, isn't it? You're sitting beside a roaring campfire, watching the sun dip behind the trees. Even though it was 25 degrees this afternoon, it's going to be chilly overnight. When you look at a beautiful scene like this, there's something you can't see, and that is the temperature of the water. How cold is it? Well, it's pretty cold. I've heard that a lot. But exactly how cold? I asked around online. I did some Google searching. I asked some people who go out paddling at this time of the year. But no one seemed to be able to answer my question. What is the temperature of the water? So, I figured it was time to find out for myself, and that's what this video is all about. I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit here and put my feet in the water. Yeah, it's really cold. It's a beautiful spring day here in Muskoka. I'm just at a lake behind my house, a small lake that's about maybe 500 meters by 200 meters. And I'm going to see what the temperature is with my new digital water thermometer. I have been wanting a water thermometer forever, and now that I have one, it will help me to prepare even better for cold water. 8.6 degrees Celsius, and that's a small lake, and I'm not even out in the middle of the water. What does that mean? I'll show you. I found this chart online quite some time ago, and I saved it because I thought it was awesome. The chart shows what you can expect based on the temperature of the water, whether it be how long it takes you to get exhausted, become unconscious, or how long you're expected to survive when the water is a certain temperature. More recently, I found this chart online from a website called biosynchronistics.com, and I really like this chart because it gives you even more information. The problem was it's in Fahrenheit, and I'm in Canada and we use Celsius, so I made a conversion chart. Now, according to this chart, if you're not wearing a dry suit or any protective clothing, you have less than 5 minutes at 8 degrees before you start to lose your dexterity. This means your fine motor skills may regress or disappear. After that, you have between 30 and 60 minutes before you become exhausted or become unconscious. But that's only if you don't get cold shock when you hit the water. If that happens, you can die in less than a minute. If you gasp when your head is underwater, you will drown. In Canada, the Canadian Safe Boating Council has the 1-10-1 principle posted on their website, which is a simple way to remember the first 3 phases of cold water immersion and the approximate time each phase takes. In this instance, they use cold incapacitation at 10 minutes in place of the loss of dexterity information on the charts that you just saw from the American websites. Now, you never know what could happen when you're out there, but you can attempt to control a lot of the things that might happen. You do this by utilizing all of the knowledge that you have, being prepared, and making choices and decisions that will ultimately increase your chance of survival. I know dry suits are expensive. Not everyone can afford one, and I get that. But there's lots of things that you can do to be safe out on the water without having a dry suit. Now, of course, I strongly recommend you have one if you're going out paddling at this time of year. But if you don't and you still just gotta get out there, which I know so many people do, I used to be one of those people, then I'm gonna provide some other information for you so you can at least be a bit safer than going out without these things. I started wearing a dry suit when I was taking my courses with Ontario Sea Kayak. I never used to wear one before. I would go out in cold water and really had no clue how dangerous it could be. For my instructor course with Ontario Sea Kayak, I purchased my dry suit Yes, they are very expensive. This one cost me $900 US, and I got a deal on it, plus shipping. The reason to wear a dry suit is so that if you do end up in the water, it will keep you dry, which will help to prolong your time in the water from getting hypothermia and possibly dying or passing out. You can wear a lot of warm clothes underneath the dry suit and go in the water totally, and nothing will get wet as long as you don't have any holes in it. In addition to that, I always wear my PFD, safety first. And if you do not have a dry suit and you just cannot resist getting out on the water when the temperatures are this cold, you should try to wear a wetsuit. A wetsuit you will get wet in, but what it does is it helps to keep your body warm with your body temperature inside the neoprene. It is not ultimate, but it's better than nothing. And if you do not have either, I suggest going on to smaller waterways, staying close to shore, and having a ditch kit with you. You can look up on Google different kinds of ditch kits. Basically, you want to have a dry bag. It's totally waterproof. You want to have some dry clothes, some warm clothes, maybe an emergency blanket, maybe some first aid items, something to start a fire with, maybe a little bit of tinder or fire sticks, some waterproof matches, maybe a couple of granola bars and some snacks, and a communication device in case you need to call for help. Those are the most important things in water, and make sure it's secured into your boat. A lot of people suggest that you have it secured to you in case you dump, so that it doesn't fall out of your boat, or if you get detached from your boat somehow, you still have it with you. Make your way to shore as quickly as possible and get into your dry, warm clothes, start a fire, and get warm as soon as possible and call for help. I would never go out on big water. I suggest to go out on big water if I didn't have a dry suit on. I'm also trained, taken a lot of courses, how to get in and out of the canoe, how to get in and out of my kayak, wilderness first aid, all of those things. So training also helps. You can get some, take some courses, and do your best to stay out of the water. People always say, I don't plan on going in, but things happen and you never know. So it's always better to be safe than sorry. I'm not an expert. This is just what I've been taught to do and trained to do in the courses that I've taken, and hopefully it helps. I'm going to bring my digital thermometer with me on my next few outings and share with you the temperature of the water. This way you can take a look at the chart, and it might give you a better idea of what you should wear, what you should bring, and whereabouts you should be paddling, or if you should be paddling at all. Thanks so much for watching and staying to the end. And, if you use some of these tips, great. If you have some more to suggest or to add, please put them in the comments for others. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please click the subscribe button. Also click the bell for notifications. If you'd like to get more information on the stuff I use on my trips, please check out my website at CamperChristina.com. Thanks. Bye.